Hello, everyone, and welcome to Super Switchheads, the premier Nintendo podcast in all of the internet. My name is Matthew Stoner.
My name is David Howe.
And my name is Patrick Knisley.
Hello and welcome, everyone. How y'all doing?
Oh, man, really good. This is episode 19, by the way.
19.
Yeah.
And we're back in the hospital.
Yeah, we're back in the hospital.
Well, actually,
I never left.
Matthew and I are back in the hospital.
Welcome back to my office, guys.
Yeah, this is a great office.
Yeah. A little bit of update. I'm kind of walking now.
Yay!
But
yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm getting better at climbing stairs. That's a big step.
Hey, it seems like
No pun
you're
intended.
improved from last week.
I'm at least in better
One
spirits.
step at a time.
Yeah. Well, I'm in very good spirits because a very exciting thing happened today.
Oh, my God.
You guys know, right?
What about great spirits? This whole episode is all about E3 and us reacting to incredible week of hype.
Holy shit.
So let's, here's the breakdown of today's episode. We'll talk about the Pokemon Direct that happened last week, break that down, some of the E3 World Championships that happened, and then we will get into the meat and potatoes, my friends, of the Nintendo Direct. And then after Nintendo Direct, we will talk about other companies' E3 conferences and presentations.
Real quick before we get into it, just getting a feel in the room. What's y'all's just initial gut reaction to that Direct? Are you feeling positive about it?
Oh, it's incredible.
I thought it was great,
Yeah.
right?
It was so fast that there was a part of during it I was kind of just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But then it ended on such a strong note.
Yeah.
That always helps.
It was a great cap off to a so-so E3.
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. I felt like in general, all of the conferences, there were so many games and there was not a lot of talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
every conference was really fast paced.
Yeah. It was all like videos and let's show you and demonstrate the game.
Except maybe Ubisoft.
Yeah, I was gonna say, except Ubisoft, where they had dances and symphonies.
Oh my God. And maybe Devolver with their
Devolver.
that shit was tight.
sketches.
We're
Yeah,
gonna have
we'll
to talk about that.
Well,
Well, before we talk too much, I did want to say real quick thanks to Mount St. Helens 13, who gave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, what's up, that exploding mountain?
Yeah.
You guys remember when that happened?
Oh, I do.
Oh, I do, yeah.
That was crazy.
I've watched so many documentaries about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It was like the 9/11 of mountains.
Yeah. This is not a Mount St. Helens podcast. This is a Nintendo
Oh,
podcast.
that's a good idea.
Yeah. We've got so many podcast ideas.
Pokemon Direct happened.
Okay, yeah. All right, we're moving into the news.
Pokemon Direct happened on Wednesday, June 5th, and they showed off new Pokemon, free camera, interrupt me whenever you want,
Sure.
Dynamaxing, where you make these giant hologram versions of your Pokemon, max raid battles with a 4-player online battle, where you fight a big giant Pokemon. The gyms are kind of these stadiums, which we already kind of saw, but they showed the legendary Pokemon, which are these weird wolf things.
Yeah, was it Zacian and Zamazenta?
Yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, knowing my history of pronouncing things.
Zacian. Zamazenta.
And it's coming out November 15th. And they showed the box art, and then you can get a double pack with a steelbook for twice as much money.
I was like, ooh, I might get that double pack so I can, share with somebody. And then I was like, no, I'm just going to buy a digital.
Yeah, exactly. Man, it was incredible.
Yeah, I was at maybe a interest level about a 6 or so in the new one. I was more interested in Let's Go, you know what I mean? And I knew I was probably going to get this one because I skipped Let's Go. But my interest level shot up to an 8 or 9 after that Direct. I was pretty excited about it.
Yeah, having an open world is awesome.
Yeah,
and being
great.
able to have both random battles and going into battles and seeing the Pokemon in the real world.
Yeah.
Or I guess virtual
Yeah, we
world.
were kind of thinking they weren't going to have them in the wild, but they do have some in the wild, but it's also random battles.
Yeah, I think
we
those
learned that
are-
at the treehouse today.
Yeah, right, at the treehouse. And I think it's in the wild areas is where you see them kind of roaming around.
I think
right?
that's
Which
just
is
great
pretty cool.
addition. It makes it look more alive.
Yeah, and it's I don't know if you guys noticed, but whenever they showed off the open world areas in the Direct, there was a little piano trill, like a ding 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 ding.
Sounds
It
just like
sounded
Breath of the
just like
Wild.
Breath of the Wild, and it was that's such a nice little touch.
So nice.
They know what they're doing,
It well, the Pokemon website also had a little bit of additional information, some of which we've now seen at the Treehouse, but like that weather affects which Pokemon are available, and that you can only Dynamax in the wild or in these stadium gym things. And I don't know a lot about Pokemon, so you guys tell me what this is about, but like there's like a Rotom phone, like which I guess is based on a previous Pokemon that was like a trickster Pokemon or something. Do you guys know what I'm talking
I
about?
have no fucking idea.
Okay, but that has like some sort of device you can use in the game to.
There's a cell phone in Animal Crossing as well. It's like a Nook phone. Yeah, they're all about having a PDA now.
I'm stoked to have giant ass Pokemon.
Yeah,
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not like called kaiju. It's just
Yeah.
Dynamax.
I think it's like, it's like the Z moves or whatever of this
Right.
game. It's like
Yeah.
every Pokemon now has to have like an extra button that is the gimmick for that game, right? And that's this one. But I mean, it seems like it works well with the raid battle system, like the kind of multiplayer thing. Whether or not you can actually play with your friends online is still to be seen at this
Right,
point. They
right.
still just said others online, which kind
they've-
of bothers me a little bit.
And the fact they said that only one person can Dynamax in one of those battles.
Right.
If
right,
it's
right.
with random people are going to just Dynamax out the gate, and then
Yeah.
you're screwing us. We're going to lose because you used it right away.
Yeah, they like Dynamax and just use like fucking like some defensive move the whole time. It just does nothing for the battle.
Yeah,
But that stuff looks great.
There's going to be that one troll play who is like Jigglypuff, giant Jigglypuff every time.
yeah, just rests.
Yeah, yeah. Just prolong the battle as long as possible.
I think the game looks super charming. I love that there's two professors and they're both women. I think that's really cool. I think it just seems so vibrant and colorful, and like all the characters seem really great. Like your rival seems cool, and like his big brother or whatever. They're very interesting characters. I just love the design of the game. I'm really excited for it.
And everybody loves Wooloo, the sheep Pokemon.
Wooloo.
The memes are going out of control with
And DuckTales.
Wooloo. That was you, Matt. Thanks. That one was the best one.
Yeah, I was inspired by my friend Gwen, who she inspired that,
Nice.
and I stole the bit and then sent it to her.
I didn't know you made that. I thought you found that.
Yeah, I'm
So-
No, I
impressed
made
that.
that.
You made that.
Yeah, dude,
we
you
need
should-
to start
You
spreading
should
that
make
more.
memes full time, Matt.
Yeah.
That's a really good meme. That
Thank
got.
you.
Yeah,
If you want to pay me money to make memes, if
I
you're out
don't.
there,
Yeah.
yeah, I will do that.
I'm pretty broke.
So on June 8th, on Saturday, Nintendo had their E3 tournaments. They started off with Mario Maker 2, which, quick update, this happened today actually in the Treehouse, but kind of since we've talked about it before, they are going to patch in online with your friends.
Yes.
Yay!
Thank you.
That's
Oh
really
my
great
God.
news. I was still going to get the game and still super excited, but that was a bit of a bummer when that news came out.
If you're not sure what that means and you're listening right now, last week we talked about that online was going to be only with randos only.
Yeah.
Because they have rankings, and so they're like, they don't want you to have friends. But why can't they just have an unranked mode with friends?
Yeah.
And now I assume that's what they'll do. But I don't think it's going to be at launch. It sounds like it's going to be something that they will. Maybe they'll get it out by
Well,
launch.
yeah, it's only like 2 weeks out
but
at this
it'll
point.
probably be a patch that comes out sometime, and then hopefully sooner than later. But that's good news.
Somebody who posted, I think maybe you said, Patrick, that it's like online backlash wins again.
Yeah, right.
Because people were pissed, man. It's like,
that's-
even if you listen back to that episode that we did, like, people didn't know that
Yeah,
the
it was
guests that we had on.
Jeremy.
And, yeah, it was Jeremy and Robert. And like, and they were like, what?
Yeah, why would you do that?
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
didn't make any sense.
It made zero sense.
and I think that's why the backlash worked.
It
too.
made zero sense, but it made sense in that it was a Nintendo decision.
Right,
You know
right,
what I
right.
mean? But it's very good to see that they're listening,
because
and-
that's something they should listen to. That's like not a design part of the game that matters or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And while they're at it, they should redesign Sonic, That's what I think. But
so
did you guys watch the Mario Maker
I
tournament?
watched the most of the tournaments.
I did
because
not.
I just happened to be at home with my kid that day, and he got into it.
The Mario Maker tournament was awesome.
It was a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
loved the last level they played with where you had to jump on the ice blocks to hit Bowser, and that everybody, the first guy that did it, he got 3 hits on Bowser, and you're like, yes, and they're like, wait, what? He didn't beat him by getting 3 hits.
It took 14
Yeah,
hits.
it took like
right?
14
Yeah.
or 15 hits on Bowser.
I think that's
before
what it is in the I think that's what it is in the original Mario Maker as well.
Oh, really?
Like
Okay.
yeah, like whenever, because you can embiggen
You
them
can
with the mushroom.
set it.
or I don't know that you can set it, but it's like there's like the normal one, and then there's like the big version that
Gotcha.
takes a shit ton of hit. Because I've been playing some Mario Maker recently.
Nice.
Almost every level
I just
has a
assumed
boss.
that 3 hits was going to kill him, and so it was a bit of a
Yeah. That was really cool. What I thought was really great about that tournament was the co-op stuff. Like
Yeah,
they showed off
that
a bunch of
level-
co-op puzzles.
that co-op level that they designed was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
there's so many things you can do with that.
Exactly, because there were already like infinite levels in the first Mario Maker, but now with all the new shit that you can do, especially with clear conditions,
Right.
Like the possibilities are just infinitely opened up.
And I'm jumping ahead, but we probably won't talk about it because there's so much to talk about. But the Treehouse today, them showing some of the levels that are in story mode. Like there was a story mode level they were showing that has a clear condition of not jumping. And I was at work, so I wasn't paying close attention. I just kind of had it up and was watching it every once in a while. I started watching this level, and I'm like, why are they moving so slow? And like, what are
Why
they
is this
doing?
like Captain Toad?
And
Treasure
then I'm
Tracker?
watching it. And I'm like, oh my god, this is a clear condition, no jump level. And I'm watching the design of that level where you like look away from ghosts, so they move to you, so they bring things to you. It was so brilliant.
Cool.
So
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah.
Oh.
And just already what's been on display just from the designers at Nintendo, and then knowing that just the community is going to crank that up to 1 million.
Yeah.
You know, I'm beyond pumped for that game.
And then the Splatoon tournament happened, and that was cool. Japan won. And then at the end, they came out and said that the final Splatfest is coming in July. I don't have the date, sorry. Where they're going to bring back all the Shifty stations from all the different Splatfests, and it's going to be a 72-hour Splatfest.
Yeah.
And then after that Splatfest, they're going to update the game to 5.0 and put a new mode where you can play sort of like a turf war on the Shifty stations or something like that.
Okay,
like a
so it's kind of like a-
Splatfest turf war.
It's kind of like a permanent Splatfest that sticks around, I guess.
Exactly. But I don't know exactly how it works. I mean, it wasn't like they really explained it. I'm not sure if it's like you have to play with teams or, you know what I mean? Or if it's
Right.
like anybody can play random, just like turf war or what. But
Yeah.
we'll see. But that's cool that they're putting all those in. I always thought it was dumb that they made those cool stations or those cool levels for just one
Yeah.
Splatfest.
just like
And
one
Because those
weekend.
are cool levels.
Yeah, some of them are
like,
really cool.
The visuals are great and the design is awesome.
And then also in that you can play night levels of all the other stages.
That's
too.
cool. Did you guys see what the theme is for the final Splatfest?
Chaos versus order.
Yeah, I love it. I love how it's been like ramen versus rice, or like ice cream versus chocolate.
Mayonnaise versus ketchup.
Yeah. And this is like usurping the like undermining the concepts of civilization
Or, yeah,
versus
good
falling
versus
into line.
Right, or freedom versus security.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like all of a sudden it's Persona 5.
And then the Smash tournament happened, and Doug Bowser came out at the end, and I think that was our first sort of big appearance of Doug Bowser. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It like as a president,
Daddy Bowser.
and he announced that there's going to be an online open Smash tournament where the winner will get like a paid trip to Evo this year, and get to
Evo's like the biggest fighting game tournament.
Yeah.
Currently in North America.
It's like the Super Bowl for fighting
Yeah.
games.
So that's cool for like people that have a chance at winning. But I mean, what that means is probably that somebody that was going to go anyway is now going to get to go for free and not have to pay out of pocket.
Yeah,
so
that's
good
cool.
for them.
And it's just, again, it's more of Nintendo embracing the competitive
Yeah.
scene.
And,
Yeah.
you know, we talked about the weird rule set and people are so critical of that, but I watched that tournament and I enjoyed it. There was some weird things, but the low items did not, you can argue now, what's the point then? But it didn't, there was very few items that actually popped up because they had, you know, the first match, I think only one popped up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this isn't going to affect it that much.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an interesting little
And
different
they had
thing.
like assist trophies turned off, right? And so
Yeah, it
was
was no Pokeballs or assist trophies.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
and
yeah.
but there were Smash Balls, and those did kind of seem to affect things. But I don't know. I mean, there's a little bit of randomness isn't bad, I don't think. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like, oh, this might be more interesting. And there's so many different modes in this game, and it's nice to see some of them
Sure.
highlighted.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think personally that it made it just like, well, now anybody can win.
I feel
you
like
know?
they did that just for Sakurai. You know, like Sakurai, like, I think the only person that hates the competitive scene is Sakurai. You know what I mean? Like Sakurai just really, really wants it to be a casual game.
He wants
you know
people
what
to
I
have
mean?
fun.
And like Nintendo understands that, like, that's not where the
He
fan
shouldn't
base
make
is.
it so complicated. Then.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be so many moves and
Oh,
like
man.
little techniques.
But
you
what
can
about
do.
the frame data, Patrick?
Oh man, we got so much more Smash stuff to talk about later in this episode as well. I'm very excited to talk about it.
And sort of one thing we wanted to talk about. We didn't talk about this last week, though. I think we had kind of seen this. I'm not sure if when this happened, but Vergeben, who is a prominent leaker, leaked a bunch of E3 stuff. Some of that maybe happened right before or between our last episode and this one.
Yeah,
David,
I think it was
speak to that?
between. Yeah,
Okay.
it was on Recetera.
Recetera.
And he basically just nailed all these predictions from all the other press conferences that had happened during E3.
That have now
he
happened.
said, that have now happened, right? But it was before. So he said, like, somebody who looks like John Wick is going to be in Cyberpunk 2077. He said that Fallout 76 was getting a battle royale mode and that they're getting NPCs. Just like, honestly, it was like 30 different things. And then at the end,
Yeah, he said some stuff about Nintendo, like there's going to be a WarioWare, which I was like, yes, I was right in my predictions.
yeah. He said there's going to be a
And-
new WarioWare and a new 2.5D Metroid game, what he referred to as Metroid 5.
But he also said they may not happen at E3.
yeah, which they didn't.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think we were starting to spread that rumor in our community and people were getting excited.
Yeah,
Sorry,
people
y'all.
people were pissed. Yeah.
I really felt like the WarioWare had a chance even before I saw that leak, just because I feel like they didn't. We'll get to this later, but they didn't announce a budget title, and I'm kind of surprised by that. There were, that I can remember at
I
least.
mean, other than Cadence of Hyrule, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
$25,
Right.
So that's
So-
hardly budget.
Anyway, that leak happened, and he was right, and we've talked about him on the show before, I think, because
Yeah.
he's done some Smash leaks and
Big
stuff.
Smash leaker.
But
But yeah, so basically, I'm surprised that those weren't in the direct.
because he was
those
right
two.
about all the other things.
Yeah, because he was right about everything else. And it's just like, I feel like both of those games, if that had been in it, this would have been like probably one of the best directs of all time.
It would have been insane.
You know what I mean? I mean, it was already great, and it's already up there with the best of the best, I think. Maybe not the best of all time, but it was great. But yeah, it's like, man, WarioWare and Metroid, like, that would have gone a long way. But yeah, I guess we'll be hearing about that soon. They did say at the end of the direct that there's a lot of stuff that is coming out that they aren't quite ready to talk about. And I'm sure those are two of the games that they're talking about.
Another leaker that I think we've talked about on the show. If not, she goes by the name Sabi. I think it's a she, from what I've read.
Who knows?
We're going with it. She was also leaking a lot of stuff during E3, like right before it was happening. Must have had somebody in the back there or something. And then she got a cease and desist letter from Nintendo, which is really interesting. And she posted about that and how she can't leak any Nintendo stuff.
It's been confirmed by a number of YouTubers as well, like that reached out to Sabi. So it's like definitely legit. Like, and it's like a Nintendo lawyer that reached out, and that's the only big video game company that has actually done that. You know,
And not a lawyer. This is not legal advice.
You
but
are
I'm
paralegal.
pretty sure that unless she's signed an NDA or something, like I don't, they could take her to court
Right.
and just make her spend a lot of money, and that's probably what they're trying to impress
Like a fear
upon her.
tactic sort of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't think they can stop her from doing it. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean she should, because being dragged through court just to waste a bunch of
She
money.
could just change her Twitter handle. Again.
I mean,
Not a big
speaking of leaks, there's the big Namco Bandai leak that happened this weekend. And so Jason Schreier is how you say his name. He's an editor for Kotaku. He leaked like Neo Kunkuni, that remaster, as well as the Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin game, Elden Ring, this weekend. And a lot of people, he got a lot of backlash because he leaked this information on like a major publication. This
Right.
is not like the Vergeben leaks
like
on
on
4chan.
4chan or something.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Kotaku, which is one of the most visited video game blogs.
Though
Right.
the Sabi stuff did bring up something I saw in a lot of comments on like Reddit and other boards. People are like, well, good. I don't want to hear all these leaks. And that makes me, I shouldn't pitch a show idea to y'all on the show, but we should talk about the ethics and, like preferences about leaking and,
Yeah.
and spoilers and that kind of thing.
Well, I think
it's
it would
interesting.
cut down on a lot of the content that we do on this podcast if we didn't talk about leaks.
Well, I mean, we
But
share
that's
them.
fun.
And-
I like leaks, right? Because for me, it's like, because when you see one confirmed, because you don't know if it's real or not until it's confirmed. You know what I mean? And that's exciting in and of itself.
Right. So long
You
as
know?
there are fake ones, I like them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I don't want to always know. But we should talk about that sometime.
I think
it's an
that's a
interesting
great topic for a show.
There's a difference between leaks of like story leaks, like names of games, versus like movie plot or TV plot.
Yeah. And I think that's part of it. But some people want the reveal to happen
Exactly
the way the company's
Yeah.
intended rather than a tweet.
Like, I had no idea Keanu Reeves was in Cyberpunk 2077. I didn't see that leak beforehand, right?
Yeah, and it was exciting to have him.
Whenever Keanu Reeves like showed up in the game, like I was sitting here in my hospital bed watching it on the TV, and I just went "fuck" really loudly, and
The nurse ran in.
yeah,
And then she goes, "Fuck!"
yeah, and she went. I was like, "Look, it's Keanu."
It's
She was
that
like, "I
Keanu.
fucking love Keanu."
Yeah, Patrick and I were watching it on Sunday,
Yeah.
and I was like to my girlfriend, I was like, "Casey, come out here. Keanu's on the Microsoft press stage."
Man, I watched the
insane.
reaction. Just really quickly to talk about that Cyberpunk 2077 reveal. I watched a reaction video to that, and there was just this dude who kept repeating, "This is a man who is at the top of his life. He is on top of the world right now. He has everything," and it's pretty much true.
That's
Everybody
true.
loves Keanu Reeves.
Well, I think that covers it for. I mean, we talked a lot about E3, but the non E3 stuff,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the sort of newsy thing. We talked about last week what E3 is, so I won't go over that too much. But it is happening right now, or probably over by the time you are listening to this.
Mm-hmm.
But Nintendo did a big direct presentation on the day Tuesday the 11th, which is when we're recording this. So we're gonna just kind of go through that. And
First
talk-
of all, I want to say how great it is that a direct happened the morning that we record.
Yeah.
It's always the day after we record, and like,
and we've been thinking about what do we got to do to change when we record.
Yeah, exactly.
But at least this time we were on.
it's
top
so
of it.
nice. I just want to say thank you, Nintendo. Clearly, you're a big fan of the show.
It's a premier Nintendo.
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. It's the premier Nintendo podcast, and they, I just thank you for throwing us a bone.
And you also consider that we've only had directs for 3 years now. This Nintendo would have these big press conferences, and sometimes they'd be weird.
Is it really only been 3 years?
At E3.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they were
right,
doing
at E3.
directs
Right,
before. Yeah, but
Yeah, because Nintendo kind of standardized this digital delivery of this press conference.
and then Devolver perfected it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
we can talk about that.
It goes from gold to platinum.
So the opening of the direct, I think Matt, you predicted this, but it was a Smash opening cinematic. They showed like Zelda fighting Marth and Meta Knight, and then
It was all the anime sword boys, basically.
yeah, oh yeah, and then
yeah.
the hero shows up, which I don't know that any of us have played much Dragon Quest. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Only just a little. I think the hero is referred to as the Luminary
in Dragon Quest XI.
in Dragon Quest XI.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So from what I've read, the hero there, I think you can name your character,
Yeah.
and Erdrick is like a title that a lot of them have or something.
It was also the name of the first Dragon Quest hero, like
So,
the default name.
If you're listening and you're like a big Dragon Quest fan and you're like, they're all wrong, sorry. But it's something like that. So they're calling the character the hero, and they I guess we get like 7 or 8. I tried to count, but on all the, I would like pause it and be like, I don't see 8, but I'm guessing that there
I
are 8
counted
different.
6, I think.
I counted 7.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe they have 8 different. This is like the only character so far that has like that crazy of a different look for all their costumes in Ultimate, as far as I can
Bowser
tell.
Jr.
Oh, that's right, Bowser. Thank you.
Yeah,
Correct. The
good
Bowser
point.
Jr. So those are the only 2 characters in Ultimate.
Right,
where
as the
it's-
Koopalings.
Yeah, where each skin is a different character.
completely different character.
Yeah.
So right, I forgot about Bowser Jr.
Yeah, so that's that. I'm more than happy with that. I wish that more characters would do that. Honestly,
Especially for a character I don't know much about
Mm-hmm.
that seems potentially like other characters.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it more interesting.
yeah, for sure.
And the moveset looks really weird too. It looks like maybe the A attacks are just kind of sword swings, but then the like B attacks are like these weird like menu driven options.
Yeah, it's like an RPG, like a
Yeah.
turn-based RPG where you like
It's
pick
weird.
your attack. Yeah,
I'm
very
excited
odd.
to see more of that.
I'm happy they're doing that because, like, whenever I first heard about Erdrick being, probably the Square rep for the DLC pack, I was like, great, another anime swordsman, right? It's just
So
like
a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Unless you have a connection to the character, it feels that way.
right. But it's like that element of the character gets me really excited, and it's something that actually changes it up from just another sword boy, So I'm pretty pumped about that. How did the fighting style look to you, Matt? Does it look like a character you might be picking up?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I broke down some of the frames, and a lot of the animations that the hero has are similar to Link. So, like, the dash attack has that, like, lunge to it. But I'm very curious to see how the magic. I'm pointing to Patrick right now.
Because I'm magical.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the
Yeah.
magician of.
I don't know how
Super Switch
the
heads.
magic would work or how it'll select it. Maybe it works like Shulk when you
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
select some of the Monado attacks.
just like you cycle through it like
Yeah.
that, I guess. Yeah, there was some stuff that kind of reminded me of what's the
Another sword.
Robin.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
like that, like the fire attack that he was doing reminded me a lot of Robin's like fire attack. So it's like definitely kind of seems like an amalgam of several characters, which is kind of what a lot of the DLC characters have
Yeah.
been like so far. Like, you know, Piranha Plant feels like it takes attacks from a lot of other characters.
And I think this isn't new for fighting games. I remember like Mortal Kombat had like Shang Tsung, which is like every character.
Yeah.
And so
Right,
you can
right.
have a little bit of
Tekken's got some of those too.
exactly.
Yeah,
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 and I
yeah.
think that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, I'm still pumped.
And
Yeah.
they said summer 2019, so we didn't get a specific month even, just summer.
There was kind of a lack of specificity on release
Yeah.
dates in general throughout this
Yeah.
direct. I was pretty surprised by that.
especially on certain things where I expected them.
Yeah,
Like this one.
Yeah.
I really expected that to be.
and it's dropping today.
Well, I expected it to be, like at least June or July, but they didn't say that, so we'll see.
Right.
Then they moved on, understandably, to Dragon Quest XI-S, the Switch version, which is coming in September 27th. I think we already knew that. But actually, you know what? I'm not sure now that I say that. I'm not sure that had a solid date.
I think that's where we got the date.
Yeah, I think that one was just fall previously. And they showed some of that 2D RPG old style that you can go to in the game.
It's pretty wild.
It's interesting. They said something about like you can return to previous games.
Imagine if that was in Breath of the Wild. Like you remember that kind of old school
Yeah, the
like NES
first-
Zelda prototype
That'd
they
be
did.
wild.
Like
Oh,
if you
right,
could just
right.
like flip back and forth. Like I don't know. I can't think of another game that does that to that extent. It's like a total conversion of the game into the old school style.
So I'm interested in that game, but there's so many games coming out, so we'll see.
And it's like a 200-hour RPG.
Yeah, so that makes it harder.
Yeah.
And then Koizumi pops up and says hello and that they're going to showcase games, but before the next game, he's got somebody to introduce. And then an animated Bowser walks out,
Oh,
With a tie.
Nintendo.
and then they tell him to leave, and Doug Bowser comes out. So that was a fun little thing.
That was a fun little thing. It went on for
A lot
just
longer.
a very long time.
So good though.
like Bowser had like a full monologue basically like in Bowser language.
Grunting, yeah.
And he had a cute little tie on, which was nice.
So then Doug Bowser and Koizumi introduce Luigi's Mansion 3.
Well,
you
before
wanna
we move
talk
on to
more?
Luigi's Mansion 3 though, like
Let's talk more about Bowser.
yeah, let's talk more about Doug Bowser in
Doug
particular.
Bowser.
Like how do you feel what do you think about it? I mean, this was his kind of this was him kind of introducing himself to the world as like I'm going to be the guy leading these directs from now on. Like, how do you think he did? I mean, he's no Reggie, but
Yeah, he's not as comfortable as Reggie, I don't
yeah,
think.
I look forward to the future memes that we're gonna get when
Yeah.
we eventually get a Wii Music sequel.
God, no. I hope not.
That's what I hope for.
He doesn't seem as natural, but he's doing it, and seems happy and like he wants to be there. You know what I mean?
You know what? I think I really like him.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about him, but he just seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, he does seem nice.
You know? Yeah, yeah. It seems like he'd be a good dad, you know? I don't know. I'm looking forward to him kind of coming into his own and kind of moving past his last name.
He's jumping ahead too, but then he introduced like the treehouse stuff after the direct, and he like stumbled and
He was
stuff.
really nervous.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he just seems not as comfortable, but
Yeah.
maybe that'll come with time. You know,
Yeah.
be doing more things like this.
Good on you, Doug. I think you're doing a good job. Keep doing you, and you don't have to live in the shadow of Reggie. Just be your own guy. You know what I mean? That's all I gotta say.
So they introduced Luigi's Mansion 3. What do you guys think about that?
I like that they changed the title from Luigi's Mansion 3 working title to Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, thank God they dropped that working title.
They should have called it Luigi's Mansion 3 Octopath Traveler.
Project.
Something I learned about this game is this is developed by Next Level Games from Vancouver.
Yeah.
So they did Dark Moon.
Yeah.
They also did Federation Force. And then Punch Out on the Wii. I didn't know that.
Punch Out on the Wii was great.
It was really good.
Yeah. I haven't played Dark Moon, but I was talking to Jordan whenever we were watching the direct. It was like, unfortunately, you guys weren't able to be in the voice chat, but I was in the voice chat with like 8 other Switch heads, and Jordan was talking about how he loved Dark Moon.
Oh yeah, you don't hear that. I hear a lot of people say it's not as good as the first one. I don't like the mission based.
He liked it a lot more, right? And it seems like what they're doing with this one, it seems, is all the good stuff from Dark Moon, but then bringing it back to that kind of like,
More
building
open.
exploration
Yeah.
style of the first one,
Yeah, they kind of went over some new weapon abilities, which, having not played the previous ones, didn't mean much to me because I don't know what what the weapons were like previously.
Right.
And then they showed that Guiji is in the game, which I wasn't so sure about because, as you may recall, listener, they added Guiji to the 3DS remake of the first Luigi's Mansion.
Was he called Guiji in that?
Yeah. It's just like a solid green Luigi.
It's like
But
a
I
phlegmy
guess
Luigi.
now in this one they're like explaining that he's created from like the ectoplasm or
Right.
whatever. So, I'm kind of more on board with an origin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I
now
just think
that
Luigi is
understand.
going to be the center of so many memes.
And I guess as
he
a-
already is.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
a single player, you can control Luigi, and he can like walk through walls or like grates maybe, or you can play co-op. So I guess that's good.
And it's also like if you have like a very big ghost that you have to suck and you can't like suck it because you're too weak, your sucking ability, you can just like pull up Guiji and you guys can suck together.
You said suck a lot.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You gotta suck those ghosts off.
I was watching the Treehouse of some gameplay of Luigi's Mansion 3, and I was very impressed by their restraint in using the word "suck." They did not say it once that I could tell. Maybe they did,
Now,
but it was
did they
like,
say vacuum?
yeah, I don't know. They were just like,
Dispose of the ghost.
bring within your machine.
Use poltergust too.
There was some, but the Treehouse. Did you guys watch any of
I
the
did not.
Treehouse?
I kind of, since I was at work, I
Yeah.
could only like kind of have it up when I was doing something where I could pay
Like
attention.
in the background or whatever.
Yeah.
I watched Link's Awakening.
Yeah,
I played
that
through
looked great.
We'll talk about that. And
I think it was next is what they showed next. But,
Well-
but basically what I wanted to say is that this game looks pretty big, like pretty massive, honestly. And it's like in that giant hotel that
Yeah.
it takes place in, kind of Shining-esque, a little Trump Tower-esque as well. And it just, like one of the things they showed was there was like a director ghost in the treehouse, and they had a whole like set where it was like a kaiju Godzilla type film where Luigi is like big in these big cities. It was just it just seems like there's going to be a ton of variety in the game, which is something that I was a little worried about.
Right.
Like it's just like what can you really do with
Repetitive.
this, you know?
Well,
but
they
it
showed-
seems like there's a lot.
They showed some rooms that were like gardens and things. So yeah, it looked visually interesting too.
Yeah, I wasn't that interested in it, and I'm still not like a huge Luigi's Mansion fan, but like watching the treehouse stuff like really assuaged a lot of my fears.
And they showed off Scare Scraper mode, which is like an either local wireless or online multiplayer mode where there's 4 Luigis and 4 Guigis running around. I don't know. I couldn't quite tell. They went through it fast, and there's like different goals and different like modes and all that. So I mean, I guess that's good.
Yeah,
It's- I was thinking of it as a strictly single player experience, and then they added this, so maybe it'll be fun, or maybe it'll be tacked
add
on.
multiplayer into every game, man.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, play with your friends.
And speaking, this is where the date thing comes in, because I think we all thought, or at least I thought, and kind of seemed our consensus, is that this might be coming sooner than we think. Like I was thinking this might be a September game, but they just said 2019.
Yeah,
They didn't give us anything.
yeah. What do you guys think? You guys think it's going to be October?
Yeah, that makes the most sense now.
Yeah,
I didn't see too many October release dates.
Right,
in
they
there.
didn't- I
Like
don't think-
November is packed, but October seems pretty
Right.
light. So
They didn't show anything first party. I
yeah,
don't think for-
October or early December.
Yeah, that's possible.
Oh,
too.
early December could be possible as well. It just looks so complete already, you know. So I feel like it's got to be October.
So they cut back to Doug Bowser, who says they'll show more at the Treehouse, which we already kind of talked about of that game. And then they show us the Netflix Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics video game.
Man, this was out of left field.
I knew that, and I had read and heard that Netflix was really kind of be pushing some games, and that they're going to be making games based on their IPs. And we'd seen that Stranger Things 3 one already, but I thought maybe Netflix was going to announce these on their own or something. But I guess they're really going in with Nintendo, because this is it's like a strategy game with your Gelflings and
Yeah,
your
it looks like Final
Skeksis.
Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or XCOM.
Yeah.
yeah. So that exists, and I mean, I'm a big, as you guys know, Puppet fan, and I love Dark Crystal, but I was like, I don't know about this, but you know.
I think it looks cool. It looks better than the Stranger Things game.
Yeah, that's true. And
Yeah.
anytime they make a game based on a movie or a show, I'm a little wary, because historically those
I
aren't
say
great.
go for it. I mean, I think Netflix clearly has more money than they know what to do with, so they
It
might as
seems
well
like it.
throw some money at some developers,
This was very surprising to me. I just didn't expect a Dark Crystal game.
Yeah.
especially so early in the direct. It was
Yeah.
like I saw like the Muppet, and it was like, is that fucking Dark Crystal?
Yeah.
It's so
And
odd.
We haven't seen the show yet, so like, it doesn't have a. I mean, I guess it's based on the movie, so it has a fan base. Anyway, that was also just a 2019 date, no specifics. Then we got into Link's Awakening, like you said, Zelda
Right.
Link's Awakening remake, and the one sort of new thing that we didn't know about is this weird dungeon creator thing. And I'll be honest, I didn't quite follow. I guess you can unlock rooms, and then you can piece together your own dungeon for loot.
Yeah, as I understand it, it's like as you clear dungeons, the individual rooms from those dungeons then like get added to your library or whatever, and you can go into a dungeon creator and like mix and match rooms from different dungeons to make new dungeons.
To get more rupees and
Items.
why? Yeah, like
Yeah,
I guess is what
points.
I'm wondering about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not sure.
I know in our Discord, Brian was saying that someone told him that it looks a lot like Binding of Isaac. You know what I mean?
Which is in reverse.
Yeah, yeah. It's like art imitating life, imitating art, right? It's like, but it's true. It's like kind of like because that's what Binding of Isaac is all about. It's supposed to be like
The
Zelda, but it's
randomly
randomized, right?
generated, yeah.
So to me, this feels almost like the first step towards a Zelda maker. You know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah.
And so I think maybe this is them kind of dipping their toes in and seeing kind of how that would be structured, but. You know, we were talking last week about like what they would need to add to justify this being a $60 game, and
It is a $60 game now. I think I looked on Amazon, and from everything I could tell,
Yeah.
they had placeholder prices on a lot of places of 50, of maybe less, but now it's definitely 60.
Yeah. I mean, it's looking good to me. Do you guys see that the Link's Awakening amiibo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they announced the amiibo in the treehouse, and it
But-
looks so
yeah.
damn cute. It really does look like one of those, like Rudolph characters,
Yeah,
like a claymation Rudolph.
Yeah, the like Yeti Rudolph thing.
The
claymation
elf
things.
that wants
Yeah.
to be a dentist.
Some of the
Link
pl-
just wants to be a dentist.
You think so?
I don't know about that.
think he's
It's
all-
a Rudolph reference.
No,
Sorry.
I mean, I get it.
Rudolph reference.
I
This is a
was right
Rudolph
with that
podcast.
one prediction, though, that we wouldn't see any amiibo in the direct.
That's true. They didn't show it.
It
Yeah,
was
as
kind
one.
of just like quietly announced. Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say I watched the Link's Awakening on Treehouse, and they have like 15 or 18 minutes of the playthrough, and it looks incredible.
Yeah.
And so that interview, I can't remember her name, but she says that when they were designing this game, they wanted it to feel like a diorama.
Right.
And like all of the animation, all of the motion, and the music and sound effects are different. So like the opening chest sound effect is just different enough that it feels like a very playful version of Zelda.
Right.
And
And they did all their own like Foley sounds and everything,
Yeah.
where they like recorded real stuff.
it's just like really well done and very
Yeah.
polished and smooth. I'm super stoked for it.
Yeah, I am too. It's like this is how you do a remake. You know what I mean? It like is faithful to the original, and I feel like people who have played through the original and know it by heart will still be able to bring that knowledge to this game and have it work exactly the same. Like looking at the specific screens, you know, it just was like it's like almost 1-to-1, but it feels completely brand new.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm pumped as hell about this. I'll be picking that up day one.
Yeah, me too. Day one.
So then they said it's coming September 20th, 2019. So that's earlier than I thought.
That's
at
the
least.
day one.
And then we moved on to, I guess, I don't know a lot about this game, but like a Trials of Mana remake that's coming in early 2020. So that game never came out in the West.
Right.
And
I'm
it's
very
like
surprised to see that at Nintendo's conference instead of at Square's conference.
Right.
And I'm actually not even sure. Is it a Nintendo exclusive? Do you know?
I don't know. They said getting a global release on Nintendo Switch. I think that's
Yeah.
literally what they said.
I think it
Which-
sounds to me like it is.
Maybe it's just a timed exclusive, but we'll see, or maybe not. Then they announced the Collection of Mana, like digital game, which is available now, and that has the original Trials of Mana on it, as well as some
But
other,
like localized for US,
yes, which has never
obviously.
happened before,
Right.
or at least officially.
And it's got Secret of Mana, but like in the original.
And then it's
style.
got the like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Game Boy game
Right.
as well, which I guess is I don't know enough about this to
Yeah,
be
so
talking
basically that was
definitively.
released as a Mana game
In
in
Japan.
Japan, and then was like localized as a Final Fantasy game because there hadn't been any Mana games.
And I'm
in the
pretty sure I
US.
played that on the Game Boy when I was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
kid,
yeah.
and just thought it was the Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
game.
well, but it's like an action RPG, right?
Then maybe I played a different Final Fantasy
Right,
game on
right,
the
right.
Game Boy because there were like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but that's cool. I'm excited for that. That having been said, I checked the eShop and that collection of mana is $40.
yeah, for just 3 games.
Yeah,
right?
for three games, 2 Super Nintendo games and a Game Boy game. You know, that's quite a lot for that. I mean, I get that it's like the first time it's been released, but like, fuck, man.
I don't want to
That's
digress
expensive.
too much, but there were a lot of like collections announced
Yes.
in E3 in general, especially in Nintendo. So we got like a Contra collection.
that's coming
Yeah.
up.
We got a Mana collection, and then recently we got like Mega Man X collection.
Uh-huh.
And it feels like
The
companies,
Castlevania collection.
Castlevania companies
those arcade
are
classic-
recognizing that we're going to move into a streaming Netflix model.
They're trying to get us to buy.
You're
things
trying to
now.
get all of that money now before it moves into that area in like 4 or 5 years.
I mean, we're in the era of remakes, remasters, and ports,
Right,
you know, like
right.
we talked about.
And speaking of ports, Witcher 3 officially got announced.
Can't
the
believe
Wild
it.
Hunt Complete Edition.
Complete Edition, that's
coming
great.
to Switch, which I understand has, DLC that was like its own 40-hour campaign or whatever.
Yeah.
Witcher 3 have been on most major consoles and PC. Has it been on, is it a PC?
Yeah, it's on PC as well.
Yeah, I've seen my cousin play it on PC, and it's gorgeous on
Yeah.
PC.
It's not going to look as good on the Switch.
Not
Don't
going to
get
look
hopes
as
up.
gorgeous on the Switch.
You could already tell in the footage that it's like been dumbed down a little bit. You know what I mean?
But
or not
they-
the gameplay, but the graphics.
They did it, and I don't know who did it. We should figure that out because I'm sure that's who ported that over.
Right. I mean, it might have been CD Projekt Red themselves. I mean,
That's a
like,
good guess,
It was cool
actually.
seeing at the end of that, just seeing the CD Projekt Red logo on a Nintendo Direct. That was
Switch,
exciting.
There was
know?
a rumor that said that it was Panic Button who did this port.
But that was Panic Button.
right,
denied
yeah,
it.
it wasn't
Okay.
that. Yeah.
And so then we saw a new trailer for Fire Emblem Three Houses. We already knew the date on that one. Good for people that, we haven't, there's been a lot of news coming out in Japan. I actually thought that trailer was kind of interesting. It showed some of the background of the story a little bit more. So I thought that was cool.
Sure.
And then we got into something I want to talk about because it's weird.
Oh, we're just.
Unless
breezing over Fire Emblem.
Y'all don't usually have much to say about Fire Emblem. So, is there anything else you wanted to say about Fire
All
Emblem?
I wanted to say was I thought that the cinematic style looked really great. Like the kind of like 3D anime style.
Yeah, they didn't really
I
show
thought they nailed
gameplay
it.
in this trailer. It was mostly
Yeah.
just story stuff.
Well, they've already revealed so much about like how the game is structured,
Right.
You know what I mean? So they didn't have to, and I feel like anybody who's a Fire Emblem fan is already on
Right.
board. But like, all I wanted to say is that I think it's looking fantastic.
So then I want to talk about this for a minute because it was weird. We get back to Koizumi and he says, it might be fun to play Resident Evil at a location like this.
Oh yeah,
And we cut away to this really long trailer of this
So long.
couple going into like an abandoned house that looks creepy. And then they break out their Switch and they play tabletop mode
Yeah.
of Resident Evil 1.
which
on
is what
their
I do when I
Switch.
enter abandoned buildings.
Yeah, like hey, let's go have some fun in an abandoned building. It was a really, really long segment to then just introduce that that Resident Evil 5 and 6 are coming to the Switch, and
And those are like the Resident Evils that nobody wants to play.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 7 is great.
yeah.
5 and 6, they're okay.
the fact that they spent so much time on making this little video and trying to hype it up makes me think there's something there. Like maybe there's a Resident Evil character coming to Smash next.
Oh, really?
I know people rumor, that.
What do you think, like Jill Valentine or something?
Yes, that's what yes.
Yeah.
We have 2 Capcom reps right now.
Right. We need another Capcom rep for DLC. We don't have the Capcom me costumes yet. And Jill would be a female. We haven't had
That's
a
some
female
good
DLC.
speculation.
What would her
it's
moves?
not-
Would she
it's
just
not-
like shoot things?
It's not me that's come up with this, but I
Yeah.
think, but watching this, I was like, oh, I'm starting to really believe that.
I mean,
now.
in Marvel vs. Capcom, her movesets are like using all the weapons, and then a tyrant comes in.
she should
That's incredible.
unleash like zombie beasts on you.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be cool.
She has
She's like
zombie
a
dogs
summoner or
attack.
something like that. Yeah, that could be kind of sweet.
But it was just weird to watch that whole thing, which definitely made me think something going on, or they just like have a deal to really
Hey,
push these games.
Capcom and Nintendo just want to encourage people to be urban explorers.
Yeah, to break into houses.
Handle jigglers.
Yeah.
That was odd. I mean, it just was like 4 minutes long.
It was long.
Yeah.
And then we come back to him and he introduces the next game, or he doesn't explain what it is. It took me a minute on this one. In fact, I had no idea what it was because I have never played No More Heroes, the Travis Touchdown games.
Right.
And it was No More Heroes 3, which is coming in 2020. So I don't have a lot to say about that. I was like, what is going on? There's this guy with a neck brace and there's big flying pyramids then he puts on a suit, but now he's fighting without the suit.
Well, I'll just say about this, it's like, I'm really happy for Suda 51 because like basically the whole Travis Strikes Again, like he said, like he's putting this out in order to like raise more money to make No More Heroes 3. So all this means is that
it worked.
Yeah, Travis Strikes Again sold enough on Switch specifically for them to put this game out. And it seems like it's a Nintendo exclusive. It seems like he's, now in the Nintendo family. So good for him. I've never played a No More Heroes game, but I hear they're fantastic.
They're super fun.
Yeah, you enjoy them?
I played the first one on Wii.
Yeah.
That's where it came on. Yeah.
Swing that Wiimote around.
Yeah, I
for that
did.
lightsaber thingy that he has.
Yeah, I think Travis Touchdown as a character is like this
Tony Stark-esque or something.
Yeah. He's like such a fascinating. I don't know. There's something about it that seems really cool. Also, his last name's fucking Touchdown, and it's fucking.
Cool.
He has like a lightsaber that's not a lightsaber.
You're right.
and
Definitely
it's
not a
red leather
lightsaber,
jacket.
but it's a lightsaber.
It's a laser sword. They're called laser swords.
Then we saw the announcement for Contra Rogue Core.
I thought of you immediately when I saw this.
You thought of me?
Well, yeah, because you like Contra games, right?
I don't. I mean, I played Contra games back in the NES day, but I don't have any strong feelings about
fuck.
it.
And I don't know why I thought that.
Well, thanks for thinking of me anyway.
I think about you a lot, Patrick.
But it definitely didn't look like a very. I don't know.
I think it looks bad.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for saying it.
Yeah.
I thought it looked bad too.
I think it looks
does
pretty
look
bad.
It doesn't.
I think it's cool that a panda is like shooting a gun, but that's like pretty much all I care about from this trailer.
Like to me, it looks like an arcade game.
Yeah.
Like I might play that in an arcade,
Yeah.
but maybe not console.
or like a free game or something. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh,
I don't
totally
know if I'd
free
say
to
that.
play.
Well, it had that vibe of like free game where you pay for skins or something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. It looks like an indie game to me. It was like
that's
it was like
what I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like,
like-
if not to say that indie games are poor quality, but it was like
sometimes the graphics aren't.
yeah, it's just like it's a major IP. You know what I mean? It's or at least not in these days, but
Is it
it's at least-
Konami?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
Konami IP. So it's like it's just odd. I don't know. It looks bad.
And that's coming September 24th. And it has online multiplayer, like 4-person, I guess, horde mode battles, or maybe I don't even know.
If you're excited about that Contra game, good on you.
Sorry,
But
yeah.
but you're wrong.
And then they announced the Contra Anniversary Collection, which is available today. Speaking of all the collections, like you were talking about,
It's the extra one more Konami collection to add to the Switch eShop.
right? Did either of you look into what? I don't know which games are
Yeah,
in
it's
this
so
and how much
so
it costs. You know how
it's
much it costs?
basically it's 10 games. It's probably gonna be $20. That's what all the classic collections have been. But it's 10 games, but it's really only like 3 or 4 games because a lot of the games are just like ports or remakes of like the previous ones. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're a hardcore Contra fan, this is for you, and I'm sure you're going to be excited, and I'm sure you're like, oh yeah, the Japanese version has this, and the US version has this.
right,
But it's like, but if you're like a casual Contra fan, like you're really only getting like 3 or 4 games.
Gotcha.
And it's not even the 3D ones, you know? So it's just the old school ones. But if you're into that, that's great.
So, Daemon X Machina got a new trailer and a release date. I was wrong about this. They did not do another demo. It is coming September 13th. So that September is starting to look packed with games.
For real.
There. So, moving on, then
I watched some of the Treehouse for Daemon X Machina.
Yeah, they showed some of that.
And
too.
it definitely seems like they have been listening to some of the feedback. Like the UI had a complete redesign because a lot of people were really complaining about the UI from the first prototype missions or whatever.
Yeah.
So it at least seems like they did kind of the Octopath Traveler thing of like asking for feedback and then actually putting that feedback in. So hopefully it's going to be a lot more fun. The gameplay looks really smooth from what I saw. But it still looks a little bland to me, but we'll see when it comes out. It seems like it's pretty robust.
Then they show a Panzer Dragoon trailer and say that it's coming this winter. I don't know much about this game, but this is a remake of an old game?
Yeah, like a
Is that-
Sega Saturn game.
Sega
right?
Saturn game. It's a rail shooter.
Mhm. Like
Panzer
Star
Dragoon's
Fox
great.
type game.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It's very similar to Starbucks.
Yeah.
But you get to ride a dragon, bros.
Yeah. I mean, it looked beautiful. I mean, we heard a while ago that they were doing like something with the Panzer Dragoon series, but this is the first we've actually seen of it. And they kind of just breezed over it too. It was like
It was a short
It was there and
trailer.
then left. And I was
Winter.
like,
Yeah.
I kind of just forgot that it even happened
A
until
lot of
we were
these
talking
things
about
that
this
we just
beforehand.
went through happened fast.
Yeah.
But like, other than the long Resident Evil thing, like The Witcher 3, I mean, actually starting with like the Collection of Mana all through where we are now was all kind of like bam, 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 bam. And
Yeah.
that's why I was like a little overwhelmed during some of this.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I'm interested in Panzer Dragoon. I've always wanted to play those games, but I've never really had the platform in which to play them on. So I'll probably be picking this up whenever it comes out because I've always been interested in it.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
Then out of nowhere, Shinya Takahashi pops up, which I thought was interesting because he hadn't been in the Direct yet. He's like, hey, we know there was already a Pokemon Direct, and he talks a little bit more about Pokemon, and you can use the Pokeball, but not to move, just to take Pokemon out of the game and care for them.
Well, you can sleep with them when Pokemon sleep. Yeah.
That doesn't sound wrong at all.
Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. If people like that Pokeball and they want to get more use
Well,
out
yeah,
of it,
exactly. If
then-
you bought it and you're like,
Yeah.
better have some. They tried to figure something out.
It was funny. They just like wanted basically Nintendo's E3 booth. I don't know if you guys saw is like all Pokemon Sword and Shield themed.
Oh, okay. Other
So
than
it's
that
like-
one Luigi's Mansion room. Or
Yeah, there's like
whatever.
a room that's Luigi's Mansion-ish, but like the main booth is set up like the water gym from Pokemon Sword and Shield, they said. So it's like I think they basically just needed to touch on it in the actual Direct.
Yeah.
So that was like they just came up with an excuse because they had just done their own Direct
Right.
for it. So it's still exciting, but like it was basically lip service for the game.
And then we saw a new trailer for Astral Chain,
Yeah.
which we already knew when that's coming August 30th. But this actually explained the story a little bit more, which was
Yeah.
nice because now I'm like, oh, okay, this makes a
Yeah,
little bit
Astral
more sense.
Chain went from not I wasn't very interested in it to now I want to play it because they also showed more gameplay footage on like IGN.
Yeah, and in the Treehouse they had a whole
Yeah, in
segment on it.
Treehouse they had like 20 minutes of it,
Yeah.
and being able to control your main like cop character and the I don't know
I
what
forget
you
the word they used, the like interdimensional being.
Yeah,
They
right.
called it it's a Japanese term and I lost it.
Yeah.
Dang
but
it.
like the incredible combos that you can do with both of those characters like makes Bayonetta look it's already a great game.
Yeah.
But like using this kind of system it looks so much fun.
It almost kind of reminded me of what they're doing with the Final Fantasy VII remake, where you can like hop back and forth in real time between the
Yeah,
characters.
exactly.
You know, I don't know. I just want to say this game looks gorgeous. Like this might be the best looking game on the Switch. You know what I mean? Maybe other than like Hellblade or something like that. But like I was just looking at it and it was hard for me to believe that it was actually running on a Switch. You know, like we're getting to that point in the Switch's lifespan where people are really starting to figure out like all the kind of loopholes in order to make your shit look really good. And that's exciting, especially for third party shit.
Then we had a game called Empire of Sin coming spring 2020. I cannot remember what this was.
This is
like-
a mafia
It was
simulator.
like, it was like top down mafia, basically.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah, I don't care.
They had a good song.
Yeah. I was like, oh, Mafia 3 is coming. And then it was like just a game that has the Mafia in it. So, yeah,
exists?
I don't know. It exists. I'm sorry if you're a developer on that game and you're
Yeah,
listening to
no,
this
no.
podcast. I'm sure it's good.
Yeah,
but
it just was not one that stood out. for
lost
me.
in the noise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially during this rapid fire thing here.
Yeah.
And then we saw some more of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I think that we saw some new characters and they like Ghost Rider.
Elektra.
And they showed that there will be an expansion pass available in the fall. And this moved fast. There was like Fantastic Four and some X-Men, and there was another like Marvel Knights or something.
Yeah.
That were like the 3 packs, or maybe 1 pack that those characters from those 3.
So are the X-Men not in the game unless you buy the paid DLC?
Maybe there's so many fucking X-Men that exist. I'm
Yeah,
guessing
yeah.
it might be like additional X-Men.
Okay.
I think clearly some of the big ones are, because they've confirmed that and they showed it in the playing.
Yeah,
like,
Wolverine was in like the
Wolverine
reveal
and
trailer.
Psylocke
Yeah,
and
yeah.
some other ones, but I'm guessing this might be additional ones.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it said X-Men. Is that right? That's what I wrote down here because that's what I thought I saw.
It was in
Okay,
the end.
good.
Yeah,
'Cause
there was
that-
like an X-Men pass.
Yeah,
or
that's what I
pack.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So
Are you still excited for this game?
I am, and I actually happened to watch some of the Treehouse of this. I think it just looks like a fun mindless beat 'em up thing. And
Reminded me a lot of like Diablo.
exactly,
Yeah,
it looks
yeah,
like
yeah.
Diablo with Marvel characters.
Yeah. It's looking nice. I think the graphics look good. I mean, they're like a little basic, but the art design is great.
I just love all those characters so much
Yeah.
that for me, I think I will at least play through it, and hopefully somebody else will have it and we can play online or something. Yeah. So then they showed Cadence of Hyrule, and so that's coming June 13th. So good chance if you're listening to this, it's out and you can check it out.
2 days away from
Yeah, that was
Shadow Drop.
weird.
Yeah.
Why not?
I guess they just
have it-
had a bunch of shadow drops already. Like the Square Enix
They didn't want to take away
presentation
from
had
that
shadow
stuff.
drops for the Switch, So it's like I think they just
Didn't want to take away from all the other things that you could
Yeah.
get.
David,
Yeah.
you were saying that there's a sale on the original of this
yeah,
game.
it's $3.99 right now.
That's pretty cheap.
And it's a great game, honestly. And it's like got the DLC in it and everything.
What's
like
the
from
name
PC.
of it again?
Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Crypt of the
Yeah. And that game is $4 right now. Unfortunately though, Cadence of Hyrule is $25, which is that's $5 more than I want
It's
it
that
to be.
Zelda
$5
premium, baby.
less than
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, really, you thought it was gonna be 30.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
But
Yeah, I mean it's looking good.
yeah, it's like you said, Matt. It's got the premium for the name.
Yeah, I think I'll probably wait until some reviews to pick
Yeah.
that up. But it's looking real nice, and I love the graphical style.
And no demo like we thought might happen.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Um,
probably smart though.
yeah, probably smart. So then we have Mario Sonic Tokyo Olympics coming out in November 2019, and I think the big thing here was that it has online play. So we'll see what that is, and if you can play with friends and that kind of thing. But
I was kind of a little bit blown away by this trailer.
It
Just because
showed
I didn't know the sheer breadth of
Yeah.
the number of games.
it showed a lot more than I thought it.
Yeah, we got like track and field. We have surfing, skateboarding.
we got Peach and a gi.
yeah, karate.
Waluigi
Karate,
is
see.
fencing. I saw Waluigi fencing, and I was like, "Ooh!"
Oh,
And-
wait! I didn't even know. I didn't see Waluigi. That would have
Yeah.
been a check on my bingo card.
I didn't see that
I
either.
didn't see.
He was very briefly. They showed fencing.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
was one of the characters fencing.
He would fucking be a fencer.
And they show and maybe this is in previous games. I've not played these, so you tell me. But they showed during one of the cross country things a cutaway to 2D. Did you see that with the
Yeah,
old school
just
sprites?
very briefly.
Like they showed the the old original Mario sprite and like the old Sonic.
I didn't see
It was weird.
I think my eyes glazed over during this part of the
It was
direct.
like this.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
it
yeah.
was
Very
serious.
quick.
Like I was like, did that happen?
Yeah, I
and
went back
I
and
went
paused
back
it
and
too.
watched it and paused it because like, okay, it did happen.
Huh. That's weird.
Yeah, because Dr. Eggman was also running.
Yeah,
in
and
it.
he is not as old
2D.
looking.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
But anyway, it's like, holy shit. I mean, this game looks huge.
Actually, it did look
Yeah.
pretty fun.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, I might pick this up before, but probably not. And then
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I might pick this up.
Yeah, because
You just dropped you dropped the working title from your.
because we're gonna have two Olympics games,
Right.
Because it's made by Sega,
Like a realistic one and a Mario and
yeah.
Sonic one.
So this one's probably Switch only, but we're gonna have
Right.
probably the same game without all of the characters with real humans on other platforms.
So
Yeah.
would you guys be more likely to watch the Olympics if it was Mario and Sonic? Versus
yeah.
real life people?
Yeah, of course.
Well, is this the Sonic from the movie or is this?
I don't know. I have like a soft spot for the Olympics. Like whenever the Olympics come
Yeah.
around,
Man, I
get,
love
like,
the Olympics.
The only time I'm ever patriotic is during the Olympics.
It's not unusual, and the only time a lot of people pay attention to sports. And
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
And any of the Olympic sports.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
all of a sudden, everybody cares about swimming.
Right.
You know.
It just seems like a fun mini game collection, you know.
It does.
So yeah, I'm into it.
And we, actually, by this time, I had completely forgotten about Animal Crossing.
Oh really?
Like I think I'm watching
I was
this.
waiting with bated
There's
breath.
a million announcements, and then we have Animal Crossing. We're like, oh yeah, everyone is excited about this.
Yeah.
Here's Animal Crossing.
Well, let's get the bad news out of the way.
Yeah, delayed to March, but it has a date, an exact date, which
Yeah.
I guess is good.
Was it March 3rd?
It's
is
March
that what it was?
20th.
March 20th.
So they
What's March 3rd?
March
Oh,
3rd
that's
is
Final Fantasy
Fantasy 7.
VII.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk
2020 is already going to be
Yeah.
ridiculous.
There were so many 2020 announcements throughout this whole
Cyberpunk,
E3.
Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
yeah.
7, Animal Crossing. It's
Tons of
crazy.
stuff. Yeah.
Isn't Avengers coming in 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to 2020.
So
as well.
they show the trailers like there's a deserted island and Nook Inc. Present it's the deserted island getaway, and they show a villager like setting up a tent and like crafting a workbench and just all this camping vibes. I was like, is this Animal Crossing goes camping?
Yeah, it's a
'Cause it really-
it's a porta pocket camp.
like like you can't build a house, you just build tents. But then eventually you see some beachside town, and one thing which I not being a big fan of the series or knowing a lot about it, but you can make paths, which I know a lot of people are excited about, because I think before you couldn't.
You can make what
shoot-
now? You said
Like you can create your own paths, which I
Oh.
know like in previous games people were upset because
or everything was like set.
yeah,
already.
or like you could choose from templates, or like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
paths were kind of preordained, and if you walk on grass it dies, yada yada. I don't know a lot about it.
In the treehouse thing, they got real into it. And one of the things they said is that you can move furniture around in your house in half increments. That was taken from Amiibo Festival.
if it's
so
a half
that's nice.
increment, isn't that just an increment now?
I guess it's just a smaller increment, but it's like
Right.
grid.
You have
You know,
degree. Yeah, I understand.
basically, all I'm trying to say is they took the only good thing from Amiibo Festival and put it in this game. But something else that they were talking about in the treehouse, and they kind of touched on in the trailer, was you can have up to 8 players living on one island, which I think is really
yeah.
cool. So it's basically like everybody can have their own little corner of the island, basically, and build
you
up their own
share
little
it.
towns there. Yeah, so that's kind of like, it seems like it's going to be a way
It's got to
more
be stored in the
collaborative
cloud
experience
somewhere. Then.
Yeah, right.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so it's like because what it's always been is like everybody has their own town, and you can visit your friend's town.
What does that mean
right?
for like offline play though?
Well, that's a good question. I think that it's like maybe you can play in offline mode, but I think the game is probably going to be like almost like a persistent online experience where it's like one of your
Weird.
friends changes something and then your game updates.
Huh.
You know what I
That'd
mean?
be
At least
really
that's
cool.
what I'm kind of led
Yeah.
to believe. And it also has a single screen couch co-op as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So you can play with two players. You
That's
can kind of
good.
change who's in control. You know what I mean? During that
I
time.
didn't catch that part.
That was in the
That was in the
treehouse.
treehouse?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
they
is it
didn't
like
show that.
split screen?
No. It's single screen, right? So it's like so basically, so it's like you can change whoever's the leader,
I see.
and they kind of control the camera, right? But it's like two people. It's like basically if you're at home and you want to play with your girlfriend
Yeah.
or whoever is sitting there, it's like you could both shake trees to get fruit, and speed up your fruit collecting.
That sounds
And
great.
Honestly, it's looking good, and it's looking pretty robust already. It's like. So I'm excited to see what they add between now and March because it's it's already looking like a pretty feature
they're
complete
holding out on
Animal
us
Crossing
about,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then Koizumi comes back up and apologizes. Well, I don't know that he actually apologizes for the delay, but acknowledges the delay.
Right.
I wrote apologizes here, but in retrospect, I don't think he apologized.
And nor should he really.
Yeah, they don't have to apologize.
Animal Crossing is a game you want like packed to the brim with shit.
And as always, I'd rather they delay games than Russia.
I what are you guys thinking about this Animal Crossing? You guys think you're going to pick this up?
I am. I've never played an Animal Crossing.
I've never played Animal Crossing
want to
either.
try
Oh,
it
really?
out.
So
Yeah.
I played New Leaf, and it's like something that kind of struck me about this immediately was that it seems like you're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
And that's never really been a thing.
Right,
Like
there's
it's
been
always
an
been like you
existing
go to a
town.
town and suddenly you're the mayor. You know what I mean? And you're like working off of stuff that's been there for a long time. And this is like a deserted island that people come to once you build it up. So it almost feels more like Sims in a way.
Right. So
now.
my wife keeps asking me if there's a Sims game for the Switch, and I'm like, just wait, there's an Animal Crossing game coming.
Yeah.
And this one seems even more like it.
Yeah, it's like Sims for furries.
So I think that co-op thing. We're not furries, but
Wait, Sims for furries.
Speak for
That
yourself,
is
man.
just Sims.
but that co-op part's nice to hear too, because I think that might be good for us.
Yeah, it really seems like they're putting in a lot of work to make this a unique Animal Crossing experience.
They're putting co-op in every fucking game, you guys.
They
That's what's
should.
tight.
They should.
That's tight.
It's a console that comes with 2 controllers.
Yeah.
You got to put co-op into all the games.
So then they show a highlight reel, and I guess I'll say all these names.
Can we just go through? There's a lot of third-party games and just kind of hit the big ones.
Yeah,
So
so
we
we
don't
got to talk
spend
about
too
the
much
first one because it's Spyro.
It's Spyro.
Yeah.
Spyro trilogy or what have you got announced.
It confirms the kind of leak that it was coming to Switch on this day, which they had been leaked, and that leak also said that Spyro is going to be in Crash Team Racing. So we have that to look forward to.
If there's any of these that jump out at you, you go for it. I'm just gonna move.
Yeah, we got Ni no Kuni.
Yeah, that was
That's
interesting.
the
It's like a
remake.
remake of the white, or not a remake. Sorry, a just like a port of.
Yeah,
the port.
Well, because they're doing a remake for modern consoles, but this one's going to just be a port of the original.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful Miyazaki inspired game. Ohio Miyazaki. The Silk Song sequel to Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight. It's going to be there. Who cares about Minecraft Dungeons? I don't.
Yeah, I wrote Final Fantasy ? Here because it was going so fast. Was that Crystal Chronicles?
It was Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah, that also got announced in Square's presentation.
Yeah. They went way more into it in Squares. Elder Scrolls Blades is coming. The mobile game is coming to Switch. I'm not that excited, but it is another free-to-play game that's going to be on the Switch, so that's kind of cool.
Something that blew my mind is we're getting a port of Doom Eternal.
Yeah, we've known about that for a while.
I don't know. That seems crazy.
And the Wolfenstein
they
game
didn't
are both coming.
So
that one didn't have a date. Yeah, just
Wolfenstein
sorry.
has a date. That's
that
coming
one
out in
has
July.
a date. But,
that's coming day and date with
Doom
the other platforms.
Might not be.
Yeah, Doom. They said a while ago it was coming out on the same day, but since they haven't said it, and at Bethesda's conference they also didn't say that it was coming.
And they
day
just
and
put
date.
soon as their release date.
Yeah,
for this one,
I would not expect that at the same time that the other platforms have.
Super Lucky's Tale. You want to talk about that one?
Well, that's interesting because that's a Microsoft published game. That was kind of like their response to like fun mascot led platformers, right? Like that was like the only kind of that game on Xbox, and now it's coming to Switch as new Super Lucky's Tale. So
I didn't catch that.
It's kind of like a Hat in Time coming. It's like, we already have our mascot led platformer, you know what I mean? So it's like, we'll see, but it's cool. It's like another Microsoft IP that's coming over.
David, you just did the equivalent of get off my lawn.
Yeah, basically. I only want to play Odyssey from now on and not Assassin's Creed.
Anything else in this montage?
Yeah, I mean, a bunch for me. Dragon Quest Builders is looking great. Stranger Things, I don't give a shit about.
What about Alien Isolation?
Alien Isolation caught me totally off guard. That was totally random. You know what I mean? And they just breezed over it. It was like, why? But also great because it's a really good game. I find that exciting. A game that they didn't really show that much of, but they showed like an extended trailer for during the Treehouse was the Sunken City. Is that or the Sinking
City?
Sinking City.
What's that?
I'm not really sure, but I'm really interested in it. They only really showed cinematics, but it looks like it's kind of Lovecraftian inspired.
Okay.
Like it's kind of got like a big botanical beast, and it's kind of like the city where like the water is coming down from the sky, and then all of a sudden everything is underwater. And then the trailer ended with him breaching the top of the water. And it's like, what's above the water when the water comes from the sky? So something about it just looked really cool. It was like very, I don't know. It was one of those things where I wish I'd seen gameplay, but I'm totally intrigued.
It said fall of 2019 for that one, if you're listening.
What other ones are
for
in
just
here?
a moment? We Just Dance here, but also the day prior in Ubisoft's press conference, they announced the consoles that Just Dance 2020 is coming to, and one of them is the Wii.
Yeah,
they keep doing it every year. This gets pointed out, and he's like, "This has got to be the last year they're going to do it."
I've got a friend who plays Just Dance, all the current Just Dances on a Wii.
There you go. Well, somebody's doing it.
Yeah, she doesn't have any console other than a Wii. It's like that and like Wii Fit that she plays and Netflix.
Man.
So it's like it's for those people, right? Like there's a Wii here at this hospital,
Nice,
and a balance
yeah.
board. It's like it's for those people, that just want to get like some movement in their life.
That's great.
Anything else on this list you want to talk about?
I mean, we've pretty much said everything, so I'm just going to say Catan is coming. That's pretty exciting. I love Settlers of Catan, and I'm really excited to play it on the Switch.
And this is where they put in Mario Maker 2, which I thought was interesting. I thought they might do a little bit more with this because
we all wanted to see the reveal of that last style, and we did not get that.
It's either not happening or they're holding out for
it's
like
happening.
an update or something.
It might be one of the things that they just don't reveal beforehand, and that you hopefully find like organically in the game,
Or that.
You know what I mean? And then Dauntless was a game that we did not know was coming to the Switch, but that was something that had been announced for other platforms. So it's cool to see more of that third-party stuff coming to the Switch.
And then we see this is our fake last thing that happens. We see some footage of a bunch of different Nintendo properties, and I'm thinking in my head, Smash?
Yeah, it was done in that kind of
Smash?
2D Smash style.
And then they show K. Rool and Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong hanging out, very reminiscent of the King K. Rool reveal.
Yeah.
This is like
Just incredible.
This is like
Yeah.
an animated
This-
cinematic that they made just for this.
This is the point that I think we all knew what was going to happen because we've
Yeah.
all been talking and speculating about it. But then it was happening and it wasn't totally clear what was going on.
Yeah.
And so we all had this is the shit where it's like where a leak comes out beforehand and you know it's going to happen, but it's not confirmed. And you're like, is it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So they're hanging out and they're sleeping and they're
Yeah,
resting.
and then across the screen comes like a jiggy, is what the collectible is called from
Like the
Banjo
gold
Kazooie.
jigsaw pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started fucking flipping.
I flipped out as soon as I saw.
And
Yeah.
outside the hut, it's like the shadow of Banjo Kazooie, but no, it's not. It's Duck Hunt.
It's Duck Hunt.
So
It was
good!
so funny, and they're playing on that K. Rool reveal trailer where
Yep,
we
it
all
was
thought it was
Meta
K. Rool,
Knight
but then
or
it was King DDD.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah,
king,
yeah, that's
right? And so it's like, and they just did the same fucking thing, and it was like. And then they did the Duck Hunt started like doing his little laugh like he does in the NES game, like all around the screen. It was just like peak Sakurai trolling. You know what I mean? It's fantastic.
and then
all of a
Banjo
sudden,
comes down.
out of nowhere, he just stomps the shit out of fucking Duck Hunt. and then it said Duck Hunt, or no, it says Banjo raring to play, or what
Yeah,
is it?
yeah, that was the like how they say everybody joins the battle or whatever.
Right.
He's raring to go or
Raring to
whatever.
fight or whatever. Yeah. Very, very exciting. Thank you, Microsoft, for
Oh
being
my
friends
god!
with
I
Nintendo.
couldn't believe it.
Coming fall 2019 is what they said, and then they showed a bunch of, or not a bunch, but some gameplay. That sort of weird, like different camera angle gameplay they show. Of
Yeah,
Smash.
and they're
Sure.
using a new design of Banjo that's different from the last Banjo game, Nuts and Bolts, that came
Well,
out
it
on
looked
360.
it looked almost more like Nuts and Bolts than the original games.
Yeah,
to me.
when Nuts and Bolts Banjo had like a very square nose.
Yeah. Well, there was some of that in this too.
Oh,
you
just
know?
a little bit,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
was just different enough that it wasn't like the same style,
Yeah.
which gets me
It was.
stoked.
It's very similar to all those renders we saw of the toys.
Yeah,
So-
of like the statues.
Yeah. It looked just like it.
All those rumors turned out to be true. It's two of the biggest Smash DLC rumors we've been hearing kind of turned out to be true. The one that we've been hearing a long time ago, and then the most recent one.
Yeah. And the Banjo stuff has really just been popping up in the last week. You know,
Yeah.
so somebody just saw the reveal trailer.
There was a short interview with Phil Spencer, maybe the CEO of Xbox. And
Yeah.
the interview with IGN or whoever it was asked him about how easy it was. And he's like, oh, yeah, we just made the call to Nintendo. It was really easy to work with. Rare has prior contacts with Nintendo. There was no CEOs involved. It was just like emails and they worked it out.
That's so cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
I
it was
love hearing stuff like that.
Yeah, it was like such a really cool thing to read.
Yeah. I mean, the moveset too is just like taken straight from the N64 game, you know? Like every single move is like that's why I always wanted Banjo in the game, is because his moveset is just there already. You know what I mean? It's like all the moves you learn in that game, right? And I'm so happy this finally happened. This is something that we thought was going to happen in the Wii U game. You know what I mean? People were talking about Banjo being in that game, and it never happened. So it's very, very exciting, and I'm really glad that it's not Minecraft Steve.
Right.
Yeah, and also we have the original composer of some of the music, Grant Kirkhope, who he composed this new song for Smash.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's funny. So somebody had asked him on Twitter like last week or maybe the week before if you know he knew anything about Banjo getting into Smash, and he had tweeted, "Don't get your hopes up."
Yeah.
So he was a cheeky fucker this
Well,
whole time.
today
and
he
knew
like
exactly what was
linked,
going on.
he linked to a version of an unlisted video of Nintendo for this song.
Wow.
So he's doing his own remix of the song.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
it's so
Dude,
it's
Grant
incredible.
Kirkhope is awesome.
Yeah.
And he's like we saw beforehand. This is something we didn't talk about, but they're doing a Donkey Kong Country Returns style sequel to Ukulele.
Oh,
and,
right.
And
That got
Grant
announced.
Kirkhope is working on the music for that too. You know, and I think he did Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. You know what I mean? I just love that he's getting back into the Nintendo fold because his stuff is so
Yeah.
iconic.
He also did the music for Snake Pass.
Oh
okay.
yeah, you're right. Such a Rare inspired game as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
yeah.
So then they said to stay tuned for more info about DLC in the future.
And that's coming in fall.
Yeah,
they
that one
said.
was announced for fall.
right.
So then we cut back to Takahashi, and he says that they have lots more games in development, and they would they look forward to showing them to us.
WarioWare. That's right.
And then they say, but actually, here's one more thing.
Oh, of course.
And
But wait, there's more.
the one more thing this time was a Breath of the Wild sequel trailer.
Oh my God. In the Discord, we were all fucking freaking out. Because at first we didn't know what it was. We were
Right,
like,
it's got the sort of Zelda glyphs, but oh wait, is that Metroid or is that like I just couldn't tell what it was like. It looked like it could be like 5 different things.
yeah. Oh, I immediately was thinking Metroid, right?
Yeah.
Just because we'd heard that leak about a new Metroid game, right? And so I was like, yeah, this kind of looks like a little Chozo style stuff. But then you see Link like riding an elephant in a cave next to Zelda.
Even before that, you see the kind of Calamity Ganon,
the kind of smoke
but
stuff.
still, you're still like, oh, I don't know.
Right.
And then he's riding an elephant.
Yeah, in a cave.
Yeah,
That's so cool. And he's next to Zelda, which, begs the question.
right. There's a lot of Zelda in this.
Yeah, is this going to be a co-op game where
I
you can
hope
play as
so.
Link and Zelda?
I hope so.
I
That would
really,
be
really hope
incredible.
so.
I really hope you can single player switch between them, or like pass that Joy-Con to your friend.
Dude, it would be perfect. Like this game would be so perfect for a co-op. Like each person on their own Switch, like exploring the world together at the same time.
And if we can't do that, then just make Zelda save Link this time.
Yeah, dude. I just want to play as Zelda. Oh my God. And it was so great because everybody was thinking, like, as soon as we saw that, it's like, oh, okay, it's a Breath of the Wild expansion, right? But then the text comes up at the end that says the Breath of the Wild sequel is currently in development.
Yeah.
And everybody lost their
We're
fucking
getting a
minds.
sequel. This is very rare for us to get a sequel to a Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah, actually, a coworker of mine pointed that out. I was like, well, there was Majora's Mask, but the more
And
I
A Link
thought
Between
about it,
Worlds.
it was like, this is actually feels like a story sequel that, like, in a way that isn't traditionally done, right? Like, it's not
Sure.
like it's not a different world. We don't know. We saw a 30-second
we
trailer,
see-
but
I
it
mean,
looks like
you
this is
see-
the bottom of Hyrule Castle, and they're investigating the source of Calamity Ganon.
Right.
And
well,
then
you see the castle start to like levitate up into the air, which a lot of people are starting to speculate that a lot of this game might be taking place like underground
Right.
and like dungeons and stuff. Because obviously this took
And
place
it
in
looks
like a
like
cave.
it. The visuals is kind of this darker, rats are crawling around,
Yeah.
scarier, crypt feel.
So would you guys be cool with it if it was just like the same world but with a whole underworld attached onto it?
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
I'm on board with whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's something that I thought was missing from the game. And that's
Right.
been something like Ocarina of Time is the same way, right? Like when you beat that game, it's just like, cool, it's done. You can't play anymore. If you want to play more, go back to before you beat Ganon.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Which is the same in Breath of the Wild. And I always wanted to see like what happens next, because this world is still there. We just saved everybody, right? I want to see like how it evolves. So that kind of stuff really excites me.
And lots of people are saying that it looks like it's Ganondorf because of the Gerudo
Yeah.
runes and that kind of stuff.
Because the corpse has like that gold crown that Ganondorf has, and also the red flowing hair.
right.
Yeah, that's what Jeremy was telling me, is that he thought it really reminded him of like Twilight Princess Ganon, right? And I, for me though, what I saw in that was it really reminded me of the monks at the end of the shrines.
Oh yeah,
It looked like
the
because it was like desiccated, like the body was desiccated, like those kind of mummified corpses at the end of the shrines. And I think that is a really cool idea that somebody is coming by and all those like corpses, somebody's reanimating those,
Oh,
and now
to
all of
be
a sudden you've got to
evil.
fight an army of those people that gave you all the power ups that you got throughout that
Yeah.
game. Like if that's the case, I would be really excited about that. But I mean, fuck, some people had kind of hoped for this in their E3
Yeah.
predictions that
And
we'd be getting a Zelda sequel, but I honestly did not expect this at
King
all.
Zell, as we talked about a while back, was saying if you like Breath of the Wild, 2020 is going to be great or something like that.
Yeah.
So hey,
So what? So
Here we are.
We
speaking
don't
of
know
that,
if
what do you
it's
guys think the release date?
Yeah,
might be?
I
They
don't
didn't say
know.
anything about it.
end of 2020 or 2021.
Yeah, probably 2020.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't. For
This
me,
is, this
I
is
think
a
it's-
holiday 2020.
Yeah, this feels like a 2020 game for me because it's like it's not like they're making a brand new game. Like if it was a brand new game, maybe 2021 or 2022 even. But it's like this reminds me of like a Majora's Mask style
Yeah.
sequel where you use the same engine, you use a lot of the same assets, and you get it out fast, right? And so I'm really hoping that that's the case and that we get it sooner rather than later.
So that ended the direct.
Yeah.
Real quick accounting. I think Matt did the best with his Smash opening, Smash ending.
Oh, did I?
prediction.
I don't even remember what I said.
You don't even remember what you
Well,
said?
I mean, I definitely was like, we're going to be getting 2 reveals.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
my thing was that I thought we were going to be getting Banjo at the Microsoft event.
Right.
Right. There was like very little
There's nothing at the
Nintendo. There was nothing.
Microsoft.
at
Yeah,
Microsoft
I think
for that.
like the hero, what everyone knew that Erdrick was coming,
Right.
Based on the like January leaks of the data mines,
Right.
Yeah.
well, it was Brave.
Brave,
Right? Yeah.
We got Brave, Joker, and Paku.
right,
which
right,
was the Piranha
flower.
plant.
Right. The flower.
The plant.
Yeah,
Ooh,
the
this is a
plant,
weed
excuse me.
podcast now.
But yeah, I mean, it was definitely whenever it was done, it was almost like holy shit.
There was so much.
Immediately, I was just thinking of all the stuff we didn't see, right? Which is kind of selfish. You know?
Yeah.
But like, there was a lot we didn't see that we thought we were going to get, like especially the WarioWare and the
Right.
and the Metroid leaks that came out in the past week. And then as soon as it ended, I texted my friend who works at Retro, and I was like, just
What are
like,
you
"What have you been
working
working on for the past 3 years? Tell me, I need to know." And he was just like, "I was thinking of you the whole time I was watching the direct." And he will
Meanwhile-
not tell me that dude is good at honoring
Well, it better
NDAs.
be, yeah.
Crickets on Star Fox Grand Prix.
I know it's just not a thing.
No.
It's got to not be a thing. Oh God, please let it be a thing. No F-Zero,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's something that
no Mother 3.
The only big game surprise was that Zelda game, right? Like the only
And
first
Dark
party
Crystal.
game the only first party game we didn't know about.
Yeah. You're right. And I think
But there's so many games coming out. That's
Yeah.
not a big surprise.
it was so packed, and it's like the rest of the year is going to be so fucking packed, even without Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Right. It's like we have so much to look forward to. Just Mario Maker alone,
Right.
is enough for me for the rest of the year.
Well, like I'm excited about Mario Maker and the Marvel game and Fire Emblem to try out Fire Emblem because I've never done it, and those are all within like they're all within a month of each other,
Mm-hmm.
less than a month actually. So it's like, man, I don't even know if I can play all three of those games. Then you add on Animal Crossing, if that had come out this year and all that, it would be nuts. But
Yeah. One other thing, big E3 sale is now going on. I would definitely look into that if you haven't yet. A ton of first party Nintendo games are like $20 off. If you're kind of new to the Switch, now is the time to buy all the essentials.
I think Hollow Knight is like what, $5 or $7
It's
or something.
It's like $7.50.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's got to be the
a great
best deal out of the whole bunch. That's a huge game for $7.50.
So I just want to cover some Treehouse stuff real quick. They
Yeah.
showed a bunch of games at the Treehouse that we just talked about. They showed Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Link's Awakening, Marvel, Ultimate Alliance, Mario Maker 2, Luigi's Mansion 3, Astral Chain, Daemon X Machina, and they said that they're going to show Fire Emblem on Wednesday. So if you're listening to this, that's happened. So if you want to see gameplay of any of those, go check that out. We talked about the Link's Awakening amiibo that got announced at the Treehouse, but they also showed off the the new Smash amiibo, which is Chrom, Dark Samus, Incineroar, and Richter, and they talked about patching in that Mario Maker 2 thing, and you can see the changes in Daemon X Machina. One thing, and I'm not sure if we talked about this on the podcast or if this was right before we started recording, but in the new Pokemon game, not all the Pokemon are in the game.
Right.
So if you can't transfer in your 800 Pokemon or capture them even in this game, they're just the unique ones in the Galar region. So I know a lot of people are upset about that.
Online complainers, get on it. Let's see if we can get some more shit.
And they said that it's because they're now up to that number of Pokemon from all the different generations, and it would be a lot of work. So, oh well. That happened. And then we've been talking for a long time already, but real quickly, all the other conferences, I want to talk briefly. I'm just going to start listing the conferences, and we can kind of jump in. So Google Stadia, which wasn't really technically part of E3, but they announced that Stadia is coming in November, and it costs $10 a month. Mm-hmm. Anything else on that?
So is that $10 a month plus the cost of the games?
I don't know.
That's what's maybe like
Yeah.
you get this streaming library, but you might also pay for new games.
And if you get the game, you can play that even without the subscription. I'm confused about that.
Yeah.
And I wish I had a better answer. Maybe we'll clean that up and
It is still confusing for
Yeah.
sure.
it's very
Yeah.
confusing.
and we'll report back on that when it's clear to us. EA showed a bunch of the new Star Wars single player game.
That was all I cared about from that direct.
Microsoft had an hour and 45 minutes. That was actually a lot of fun. Matt and I had fun watching
Yeah,
that
I enjoyed
one.
it. It wasn't like mind blowing. I really wish they would have shown a little bit more of their hardware, their new hardware. But obviously, it's more than a year away, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
that
I think
they
they
didn't.
said that it's coming next year.
Yeah. I think something that I thought is Microsoft didn't. It wasn't the best conference this year, but they're setting it up to next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like with all their xCloud stuff and like Halo and their new console. Like next year will be.
And
It
they're-
sounds like
and-
I liked that a
incredible.
Forza car came out, but it was like a Lego Forza car.
Oh yeah, that was one of their big announcements. Was the Lego Forza
They're
expansion.
like everything is awesome.
And I think what Microsoft is doing is they are buying all these studios, and they're gonna have a shit ton of exclusive games
I was a
that
little
are
sad that
gonna come later.
I was a little sad that Psychonauts is now an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
picked
Double
up Double
Fine.
Fine. Yeah.
yeah.
I was excited to see Battletoads footage because I like Battletoads.
Yeah,
They didn't have a date, but they showed us some. some footage.
I will say, I think the star of Microsoft's press conference was Game Pass. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah,
They're
the
like really
pricing on
proving that Game Pass is like way more bang
A good
for your
deal.
buck than you would ever imagine it would be. And it's like, man, every time they would be like, you can play it on any platform. And I was like, see the
Please
fucking
say
Switch,
Nintendo.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, please, I don't want to play this on my cell phone.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
play it
one
on
of the
my
things
Switch.
where I think about like it wasn't as hype as Nintendo talking about games, but like from a services perspective, like Game Pass for Xbox console,
Yeah.
$15 for console and PC games, and that gets you Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just an insane deal, and
It
it's only
really
like
is.
$1 right now.
And something else about that and about some of these other conferences as well, really at the start of this E3, other than just the breadth of games that were shown, because there really were a ton of games shown at this E3, is that streaming is being talked about at every single
Oh, it's on its way.
every single conference except for Nintendo, right? It was like, Ubisoft talked about their own thing that they're doing.
and they-
Bethesda
all
had some
their-
lip service to their like back end streaming stuff that they're doing through Stadia.
and it's available on Stadia as well.
Yeah,
It's kind
Stadia is
of like-
now like a legit platform as far as E3 is concerned.
Anything else on Microsoft?
Nah.
Halo, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Because that, from a story perspective, that takes place probably somewhere like 2 or 3 years after Halo 5. Halo 5 story was kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Multiplayer is great. But just seeing like John 117 just like come out. And
Is that the dude who was on the ship or whatever?
Yeah. Oh, no. John 117 is Master Chief.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
sorry. That's inside.
I thought it was like the guy who was like, "Yo, Master Chief, what's up?"
yeah, just Master Chief, and I don't know who that guy is, but if he's likely flying through space on a lone Pelican, that means like the human race has probably been hurt or destroyed.
yeah.
Well, they showed the Halo was all.
Yeah, the Halo was destroyed, and maybe Cortana is crazy. I don't know. I love the Halo universe, and
Yeah.
this like swell of music that came up to kind of talk about some of the story, and to a lot of this sequence of video of CGI was just like Halo was for the very first Master Chief, telling me the player it's going to be a callback to like Bungie Halo.
Yeah. I agree. Cyberpunk 2077 is looking incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I
That was
cannot
cool.
wait. That's going to be like, I don't buy a ton of games that aren't on Switch just because I don't have time to play games that aren't on Switch because there are
Portability.
so many games,
And
And it's like, but man, that's going to be one I pick up immediately. I cannot wait for that game.
Bethesda. Anything to talk about there?
With Bethesda, I thought Bethesda's conference was set up really well, and I think that Bethesda has an incredible marketing team. Like I thought, like all their advertisements and all their like video content that they had, I thought was like top notch. I just thought that their actual gaming content was really light this year. I think Doom Eternal is looking really good. You know what I mean? I can't wait to play that on Switch.
They had a couple of new game announcements, right? That Death Looper, was that them? Or
Yeah,
what?
Deathloop.
Deathloop.
That kind of. I think it's like a roguelike, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. That looked interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, it was,
but everybody
it was
wants
a
to
little
see.
light.
I mean, you want to see the new Elder Scrolls, and you want to see that Starfield
Yeah,
game.
that was
and
not
they
there
don't-
this
They
year.
said they wouldn't have them, so we knew that. But
Can we talk about Square?
I
I learned.
was going in order.
Yeah.
okay, well, let's quickly talk about Ubisoft.
Yeah.
What's Devolver next?
Oh, okay.
Which I do want to talk about because they had a really weird Nintendo Direct parody.
I love me some Devolver, man.
but
I love that they do a conference now every year.
it was
It's
so
funny.
weird, but the weirdness fit the weird things they were announcing.
Yeah.
Like that arcade cabinet with like a light gun thing, and like the Messenger DLC.
Yeah, like a tropical expansion for the Messenger.
and the
Yeah.
like parody games of their games. It was such a weird offering.
And it was all like framed in that like Terminator style Nintendo Direct that they did.
This is creative.
Yeah, very creative. Whoever they have doing the stuff for them, and there was like credits at the end that, like, the creator of that stuff is like definitely like, I want people to know this is me.
This is a little off topic, but when you said Terminator, we didn't talk about their Terminators coming
Terminators in games.
It's coming to Gears.
Oh,
Gears
really?
of
I didn't
War,
know that.
Yeah,
as a character, and Terminator's also coming to some other game.
Yeah, it was like 2 games, right?
Yeah,
Or they had it. Terminator appeared 2 times, and it was like, what is going on during?
Well,
the
there's that
Microsoft
new
conference?
Terminator movie coming
right?
out.
And they were trying to tie it into that.
That's exactly what it is. Like, let's not make a Terminator game. Let's just put them in a bunch of other games.
Very strange, but
Nonetheless.
Then Ubisoft. That Watch Dogs, the new Watch Dogs game, is amazing looking. At least looking, in terms of just customization of who you can recruit. And I don't know what it'll actually play like, but like, man, how much voice acting must they have recorded? If
it really seems too good to be true.
Yeah, there's gotta be.
I feel like there's a
gotta
huge
be a catch
caveat.
there.
Fool me once, Watch Dogs.
Yeah, seriously. And everybody had like a Cockney accent. It was like there's way more accents in London than that one accent. Come on.
But if it lives up to even half of that potential, that's pretty cool that you can pick anybody and play as them.
That was definitely the only thing that really stood out to me at the Ubisoft conference. The rest was just
That
like
was a
Tom
big
Clancy
thing.
games.
And there was that weird sort of like gods mythical game that's
like
going to be on the Switch.
The God and Monsters.
Yeah. Which didn't appeal to me, but I know it appealed to a lot of people.
Yeah,
so that was a thing.
But yeah, let's talk about Square.
And then Square, because you guys are excited, and obviously it's exciting.
Square. So the Square conference happened, and I was like, "This wins E3 so far."
They opened
what I
with
mean?
Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah, which looks just
And they showed a
batshit
lot of
incredible.
it, or they showed a lot of the early parts of it.
I just don't know
It looks beautiful.
what the release for the rest of the game is going to be like.
Right.
Because this is a 2 Blu-ray release for just Midgar.
And that's March.
Yeah,
3rd
March
or
2020.
March something.
Yeah, March 3rd, I think. And so it's like, are we going to be getting a 6 Blu-ray game? Like, are the is it going to be 3 parts? We don't know how many parts it's going to be.
It sounds like
are the second parts going to be on PS5? Like, what is it? It's very confusing.
Sounds like they've expanded the game.
Yeah.
And not just remade it. They are adding additional stuff.
Tifa's looking fine. I mean, it's great. I mean, her model looks great and not as ridiculously proportioned as the original.
Anything they bookended their presentation well with that and the Avengers game.
Mm-hmm.
Anything in the middle of Squares you want to talk about?
The Avengers game. I guess that's the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the middle, it was just Oninaki was a game that was announced a while ago during a Nintendo Direct.
That's
and
right.
It's like a RPG Factory game that's coming out. The guys that did Lost Sphere and some of those other games. I'm still really intrigued by that. And I think a lot of the people that worked on like Chrono Trigger are working on that game. So I think it's looking good.
It's the one with like the spirits or whatever.
Yeah, it's all about like reincarnation and stuff like that. And I think that's looking pretty good. And it basically just Square Enix was just like nonstop like JRPGs. You know?
Yeah.
So if that's your thing, like it was really exciting. The one big thing that I was excited by on that is that Final Fantasy VIII. Is getting a port.
The Final Fantasy VIII is coming to the
Even
Switch.
though they said they lost the source code and everybody thought that it was never going to happen.
I don't know if
I guess they
said that. I think that was just what
Frankensteined
they
it
thought.
from a PC port or something
Yeah,
like
that's
that. But it's looking real good. I can't wait to have Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10 on my Switch. It's going to be my Final Fantasy machine.
And then the Avengers. Let's talk about that because that was the other
Yeah.
big thing. I mean, they did a good job of the bookends. The Avengers game. They didn't show any gameplay, right? It was just the cinematics and discussions with the actors.
They're showing gameplay closed door,
Gotcha.
like at E3 on the show floor. So it's like, kind of like, well, I'm looking forward to seeing leaked cell phone footage.
Somebody will
of
take
that
a
gameplay.
photo.
Yeah, this is like so many developers are working on this game. So it's like Square's publishing it, but it's also Crystal Dynamics
Right.
and Eidos Montreal.
Right. And it's got like every big voice actor in video games ever.
Yeah.
And they sat down 5 of them to have a 5-minute conversation about the characters.
Yeah, it was a little odd.
It was kind of interesting.
It's also strange because it's like over the past 10 years, I've just been like programmed to like have a different character in mind for each of these characters because of the MCU.
Right, and then
You know?
to watch these 5 people are the voice actors. Okay,
Yeah.
see them.
Like
and-
Tony Scott with Tony Scott.
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark. R.I.P. Tony Scott, by the way. But Tony Stark with like a full beard was really upsetting. But the story looks good. It's just like, I don't know. It seems like, one of these like games as a service games because they
Yeah.
said they're going to be adding campaigns and new areas and new heroes like down the line. So it's not what I expected it to be, but it's still looking pretty exciting.
Yeah, it did feel weird, but how I categorized it in my mind, if this is a games as a service, then it works like Destiny or it works like Anthem. So we're going to get all of these new story elements as you play the game, and they'll be updated.
Yeah.
And I think that's how Final Fantasy VII might be too.
We'll see.
If
I
Final
mean,
Fantasy VII will be a game,
it
as
just
a
seems like you're going to be
service.
downloading like 200 gigs worth of patches. If that's the case.
Buying extra hard drives. Just
Yeah,
for
but
Final
you're right
Fantasy
though,
VII.
because it didn't say like Final Fantasy Remake Part 1.
Yeah.
It's being sold as Final Fantasy Remake. You know what I mean? Or Final Fantasy VII Remake. So yeah, there's a lot. The Square Enix presentation was very exciting to me, and I thought they did a fantastic job. I loved all the presentation of their whole thing, but there was a lot that was still kind of left a little vague and ambiguous. That I'm just kind of wondering what's going to be happening with a lot of those games.
Total aside, but somebody in our Facebook group was like, "I bet you this episode is going to be as long as Avengers Endgame."
That was
And my
Tommy,
wife
yeah.
is like calling me and texting me like, "Where are you?"
How long are we at
oh,
right now?
shit.
We're at an
Wow.
hour, somewhere like an hour 30.
Oh Jesus!
So we did go long.
Yeah.
So I think that's it though. Do you guys real quickly talk about what we've been playing and during the C3 thing and wrap it up?
I will say, like, Nintendo killed it, #1 conference, and then Square.
Yeah,
and
I
then
agree.
Microsoft.
I agree. I think it was a pretty lackluster E3 overall. Just like from a lot of the like a lot of the conferences, I could just have not watched at all and been totally the same. But it's definitely they brought it in at the end. Like the last two that showed were Square and Nintendo, and it was like they really stuck the landing there. And I'm really excited for what we're going to be seeing from both of those. So it's like it saved E3 for me. Basically.
Yeah, it's still
you know?
weird that we didn't get much from Sony.
Yeah, it feels
They-
weird to not have a
if you're-
Sony
if
conference.
you're-
They didn't slide in a quick like tweet or like
Or
a
state of play or
state
something
of
like that.
play.
Yeah, something about like PSVR or something.
They said they weren't going to be there and they weren't.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see him
Wow.
next year. Next year is honestly going to be so hype with all the new
my
hardware
g-
revealed, and like it's going to be back to the old console war days, next year. So it's like this was definitely kind of felt like a filler year for a lot of the people
Yeah.
going at E3, but definitely not for Nintendo. They really brought it, and it was like a great time to be a Nintendo fan. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and I think, and I just want to give a quick shout out to the Switch Heads Facebook group, like.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a lot. Today was so fun. Just like everybody just getting fucking so excited and posting every little thing that they found. And it was just like such a great time to be a part of this little community that we've sort of crafted here. And it's like, I don't know. I was very proud to be a Switch head today. I'll say that.
Well, then let's real quickly go through what we've been playing this week.
Sure.
What have you been playing, you guys?
Anybody want to start?
Yeah, go for it, David.
Okay. Basically, I mean, I've been playing a lot just because,
You're in the
I'm
hospital.
sitting in a hospital bed, but it's like, the main like kind of new game I've been playing. Well, I'll preface this by saying recently I binged the Castlevania Netflix series and I really, really enjoyed it. And I got like just really into the characters and the whole story and the whole world. And then I just like immediately bought the Castlevania collection on Switch because I didn't realize it, but the show is based on Castlevania 3. And it's like Trevor Belmont is the main character in that game. So yes, I've been going back and playing some of those old like pre-Metroidvania Castlevania games. It's not like the exploration based games, but it's all about like precision platforming, and it's a ton of fun. And I'm also realizing I'm shit at video games because it's like I really need to be using save states because these games are hard.
Yeah, those
they're
old
brutal,
games.
and it's like, but they're great, and it just reminds me of like, this is a series that's been around for years and years, and you kind of like forget like some of where it came from, but then you realize like, oh, these games aren't just influential because of the content or anything like that. They're good games on their own. So I'd really recommend, if you're a fan of any of the games, like even if you're a fan of the more exploration based, like Game Boy Advance, DS, like, Symphony of the Night style Castlevania games, go back and play these ones, because they're just like straight up fun, and they've honestly aged pretty well, especially with save states. So I'd really recommend that. What about you, Patrick?
All I've been playing is Smash again. I keep telling myself that I need to beat some games before, like I was talking about, Mario Maker, Marvel, and Fire Emblem come out. And I think I will now. I've been kind of busy, so Smash has been a great, I'm just going to play an online match. And then I end up playing 10 because I'm like, rematch.
Yeah.
And then they don't rematch me, so somebody else comes. And then I'm like, rematch, and they don't rematch me.
You should play some new Colossus before Youngblood comes out.
I'm trying to beat it
because
that's that's like my top game I want to beat, because I'm in the middle of that.
Yeah.
But then I've been doing a little bit better in Smash, and then I went over to Matt's on Sunday to watch the Microsoft thing, and I convinced him to kick my ass 3 times in a row to put me back in my place.
With Palutena?
Once, and then he did me dirty with K. Rool and Incineroar as well.
Why you got to do Patrick dirty like that?
No, I'm actually glad, because I actually had a slightly better shot at those, but you still whooped me out of it. So.
That was really fun. I've been playing Smash a whole lot. I still play that. But lately, after Microsoft E3, that got me pumped on Halo.
Yeah.
And so my buddies, as like the night of the press conference, we only traditionally play on Thursdays, but we played Sunday night. And then we played last night, Monday night. So 2 nights in a row, just like back on the Halo train.
That's great. Didn't they add Reach to...
They added Reach to Xbox Game Pass.
It's like part of Master Chief Collection now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you been playing that at all?
I haven't played any of Master Chief Collection.
Oh, okay.
I've just been like... If I play like a first-person shooter, I'm gonna like continuously play it to like to play really well.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking tryhard at Halo 5. And I think I'm pretty good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and so that feels really nice.
That's good.
So
Well, I can't wait to get it on the Switch. Come on, man. Where is our Ori and the Blind Forest? Where is our Master Chief Collection?
Where's our rare replay?
Yeah, where's our rare replay? Where's our fucking Game Pass? Like Microsoft, I thought you were friends with Nintendo. Yeah. Show up, dude. I want you on me.
Well, thanks for sticking with us on this longer episode, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to edit much out.
And thanks to
a lot of work.
Thanks to Corduroy, as always, for the music. You can find me, Patrick, online as PDYX in most places.
Hey, you can find me on Twitter as Matthew, MATHYOU.
And I'm pretty much everywhere on the internet as Monolith Fiji. Thank you, everybody, for listening so much. I know this was a big episode, but man, it's fucking E3 and it only comes around once a year, and goddamn it, we're going to talk for a long time about it.
It's the best time.
It's the best time. And man, if you've stuck with us this far, up at like hour 3 or 4 of this recording, thank you. You're the real hero. Hopefully my dad is listening to this while mowing the lawn, because since I've been in the hospital, I've just been guilting my family into listening to this podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, if you made it to the end,
shout out to my dad.
Send us a message and I will make a personalized meme just for you.
Wow.
Yeah,
There you go. Send us a message.
If you made it to the end, send us an email saying the word Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
So we know that you actually listened to it. And if you send us an email that doesn't say that, then we know you're full of shit. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, it was a fantastic time. You can find us online. We're up there on the internets in all different places. We're on Twitter at Switchheads, on Instagram and Facebook at Super Switchheads. And, check out our Facebook group. Honestly, like if you're listening to the show and you're not in our group, you're missing out, because that's like where we do all our kind of community focused stuff. Our page is where we're like, pimping the show, but the group is where it's at. Send us a message. We can add you.
Can't find it, send us a message.
Yeah. But it's on there. Just request to be joined. As long as you're legit and not, a Russian bot, I'll pretty much add you to the group. We're doing discussion all the time. It's a really great time. And today was a great day to be in the group. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We're going to be having a great episode next week. We're going to talk about games done quick, right?
Yeah.
It's coming up. I love games done quick. So we're going to be talking about speedrunning and all that kind of stuff next week. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch you next week. We love you. Bye.